Hello, I'm Riley, and this is the Diegetic Advancement Podcast. Okay, in today's episode, I'm going to talk about character creation in Forbidden Lands, the potential of doing some solo play. I've got a call from Jason on a previous episode about the social contract, and I will do some content shoutouts as normal. Without further ado, I will pass on to Jason.
Hey Riley, Jason here. Just want to say I enjoyed your call-in episode and social contract episode. And yeah, I'm kind of with you. To me, session 0 and the social contract are kind of mixed together, and you're going to talk about all that together. I personally don't have a need to have people sign a contract or be that strict. That's not the kind of game I want to be in. But there's nothing wrong with that if people are looking for that. I've played in games where we want a really immersive experience, like a horror game where, we didn't want any joking during the game or any of that. But we just talked about it ahead of time, and everybody played it, and it was fine. So I don't need that. I don't know that you need all those draconian measures. But to each their own. If that's what these groups enjoy doing, there's nothing wrong with that. But like you, I'm definitely looking for a more loose structure, and maybe I'm just getting too old for that stuff, to be honest. Um, that's very much a Clint Eastwood get off my lawn kind of thing for me. But great job, and again, I'm not pooping on anybody's style. I actually want to try the 4D style at some point because I definitely like to experience all kinds of games, and I'm really interested to experience that type of game, and embrace it and give it a full shot. So I'm looking forward to attempting it at some point, and I am looking forward to it, just like I've done with Che Webster, done the whole immersive, the otherworld experience where all the rules are behind the rule screen, the GM screen, and the player doesn't even have a character sheet, and I enjoyed that. It's not the only way I want to play, but I do like to explore different experiences. Anyhow, great job on your show. I can't wait to see what you do next.
Hey, Jason, thank you so much for the call. Glad you are feeling better. Okay, yes, I mean, signing a contract, yeah, I don't know if I'd go that far, and I'm not sure if there is that much utility in, strict enforcement of that, at least for me. What I do like about it, though, is that the act of writing it down makes it more deliberate. I think sometimes, at least in my experience, some of these session zeros are kind of a bit wishy-washy, and we probably don't remember what was said or put that much effort into them. I think if we were to generate a document, obviously that it can be referenced, but I think it just is a more deliberate act, at least for me. I think I would put more thought and consideration into it. Totally agree with you on trying different things. I've got my preferred style of play, but that doesn't mean it is going to be my preferred style forever, or that I don't enjoy trying other things, and it can be fun to try that other stuff. So, I would certainly be interested in trying to implement some of these in character as character, or 3D, 4D things at my table, or joining a game that ran like that. I guess another point, I think there is an attraction, for me at least, for the 4D model in the same way that the social contract is written down. This is the model is quite clear and deliberate, having been written down and put into words. Whether I agree with everything in it for my style is irrelevant. I think it does attract me just for that, and perhaps writing something down for the way that I like to play would have some benefit. Again, not to necessarily share with other people, but to make it concrete and have me think about something a little bit more deliberately. Okay, thank you very much, Jason. I would normally shout out your show, but you are at least on hiatus, if not a permanent one. Though, if by some miracle you have no idea who Jason is, do go check out the podcast. There is 600 plus episodes of fantastic stuff, and hopefully more in the future. Either way, hope to hear from you again, Jason. Thanks again. Okay, on to the Forbidden Lands. Last week I talked about starting to play Forbidden Lands solo, and today I'm going to go through character creation after reading through the player's guide. Included in the box set I purchased is a booklet which contains a backstory generator, which I'm going to use at least for my first character, but I've decided I will play a group of 3 brothers, so I may choose some results to fit that rather than exclusively roll. For the others I might go back to the player's guide, which basically lets you pick everything, and they can leverage the backstory of the first brother. But we'll see how this goes. So let's begin. Okay, our first choice is what kin will be. I've already decided that I want to play humans, but there are 3 different types based on their origins. Rolling a d3, we get a 2. So our brothers will be Asleen. Now, I don't have a good idea of what this means yet. I'll probably need to reread the player's guide, and there might be some more info in the Game Master's guide. I'm probably mispronouncing things as well. But we'll continue on for now, and I'll research this stuff before I actually play. So our kin will affect some of our other rolls, like our home region. So rolling a d6, we get a 6. Our brothers are the Darkness of the Shroud, location on the map, which again, I'm not too sure about. Continuing on, we roll for our childhood. Another d6, we get a 2. We are a dreamer. Perhaps this brother has dreamt of adventure and finally convinced the others to come along. This gives us some attributes and skills. So strength 3, agility 3, wits 4, empathy 5, and law 2, manipulation 1, performance 2, and animal handling 1. Next up is profession. Here I'm not going to roll on the table they give us, as I want to avoid some of the classes. I'll allow fighter, hunter, peddler, rider, and rogue. Pulling out some Zoki dice for a d5, I get a 5. Our first brother is a rogue. This gives us a profession talent, which we need to roll for. A d3, 3 gives us the path of the killer, which gives us some bonus that we can use. And next up is a formative event as a rogue. A d6 roll here, giving us a 4. We joined a guild of thieves. This gives us leather armor, a dagger, as well as insight 1 and scouting 1 as skills. And another trait, 6th sense. The last table is how did you meet, but I already know that and skip that. And we can end character creation here, but we have the choice of aging. This lets us roll another formative event for the cost of 1 attribute point. I think this is the eldest brother, so let's do it. The others might also be this old, but this sets the cap. Lower empathy from 5 to 4 and make a 3 this time. Gives us a successful heist. We receive an item from valuable finds in a lair table, gain sleight of hand 1 and stealth 1 as skill. We also gain lucky trait. Let's find out what we're actually getting, and off to the GM's guide. We get a silver box worth 20 silver. We're not going to age any further, so to finish off we can roll for a pride, a dark secret, relationship with other characters. We'll skip the relationship, but let's roll for pride and dark secret. Our pride is no one has a softer step than me in dark secret. Impulsively steal valuables you catch sight of. This is not something I'd like to play in a group because it seems to get people in trouble, but solo play it probably works. And for being a rogue, we get a dagger, 2 items from the trade goods table, and d10 silver. So get a resource die, d6 food, and d6 water. I'll roll that off mic, get that all put into a character sheet, and I will create the other 2 brothers. I actually quite liked rolling on these tables. I'll roll less because I think we know a little bit more about the other 2 brothers now, specifically what type of human they are and they grew up. But everything else gave some interesting results, so I will do all that off mic, and I think when we come back next week I can introduce a full cast of characters and maybe talk a little bit about what or how I'm going to run the game, because I'm not too sure yet. So I will discover that between now and next week. Okay, for content shoutouts this week, just a few shows. Over on the Analytic dice podcast, one of their bonus episodes. They've interviewed Joseph Goodman of Goodman Games. Really fascinating chat. Joseph seems like a very charismatic person, really enjoyable. Over on the Dekahedron podcast, Joe discusses a Star Trek adventure that he's put together. Again, that kind of looks like it would be fun. I quite liked how there is some random elements to what is actually going on. It's a cool thing I like to see in adventures. And over on the Redcaps podcast, there's an interview with a gentleman about a non-for-profit who's helping schools and libraries get TTRPG products and things to help them run gaming clubs. Really great to see that the Redcaps podcast is back in action. That is all for today, folks. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll let the outro play. Bye for now. I'd love to hear your feedback. You can reach me via Spotify, SpeakPipe, Discord, or email. Details, along with everything I've talked about today, are in the show notes. Thank you so much for listening. Bye for now.